Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to be taking 4 items that I've gotten at the thrift store recently, and I'm going to give them a more farmhouse makeover. So starting off with these 2 chicken wire pieces, I found these at the Goodwill for about $2, and I loved them. However, I'm not a fan of the turquoise color, but nothing a little paint can't fix, so I'm going to give them a few coats of Waverly chalk paint in ivory. I do want to mention that for this video, I'm participating in a DIY challenge hosted by Hattie Sonbul. She hosts them often, and this month's theme is Farmhouse, so of course I wanted to join. I'll have her channel linked down below as well as the playlist. So once my frames were dried, I wanted to add some faux distressing, but I tried a new method this time. I purchased these paint markers from Walmart. I think they were about $2, and I'm just going to color over the areas I want to look distressed and then wipe it away with a paper towel. These didn't turn out perfect, but I have to say I like this paint marker method much more. I just learned that you have to use a lighter hand, and here's how they turned out. On to the next project. I found this really nice bamboo piece at Goodwill for about $3.99. It was in great condition, so I knew right away that I wanted to give it a makeover. And I'm going to be using this beautiful light gray chalk paint. I really like this brand a lot. I got it at Home Depot. It just went on really smooth, and I only had to do about 1.5 coats. Now, this is normally where a Cricut machine would come into play, but I do not yet own one, so I'm going to be using my tissue paper method that I do all the time on my channel. I've just taped a piece to some cardstock, that way my image prints onto the tissue paper and I can Mod Podge it onto my surface. I made this printable in an app I use, so if you're interested, I'll link it down below. Once I've applied my glue, I'm going to very carefully place the tissue paper where I want it, and it's inevitable. There's going to be wrinkles and bubbles, but I'm just going to smooth them out, really gently with my finger, and then from afar you can't even tell. going to apply a very thin layer to the top just so I don't smear the ink, and this is how it turned out. For this third project, I'm redoing this kid stool that I thrifted for $8, which seems kind of high now, but it doesn't need much, just a fresh coat of paint on the bottom, and I'm going to sand the glossy finish off the wood piece and then stain it a darker color. So the stain that I'm using is by Varathane. It's in the shade Dark Walnut, and I'm in love with this. I can't stop using it on every single thing I make over or own, but I'm just going to use a lint-free rag and wipe it across the top of the wood. I only did one coat. You could keep going if you want it darker, but I kind of liked the light finish after we sanded it down. But then I'm just going to take my rag and wipe the excess off with the dry part, and I actually really love the way this turned out. Now this last flip I almost didn't include because I messed up and it just didn't turn out how I planned, but you live and you learn. I found this trunk at a garage sale for $3. It's not in perfect condition, but I wanted it to look like really messed up and distressed. So you'll see that I start out painting it with that light gray color I used earlier, and then I switch over to Cashew by Waverly because I didn't have enough of the gray. But then I grabbed a wet rag and I'm just going to distress it. Now I'm just going to take some black paint that I got from Walmart and a sponge brush, and I purchased this stencil recently from Amazon. I'll link it down below. If I forget, just let me know in a comment just in case you would like to purchase it as well. But where I went wrong here is this is actually the first time I've ever used a stencil. So originally it looked like I wasn't putting enough paint, so I started to dab it on way too thick, way too much. When I pulled off the stencil, you'll see that it bled and the letters just aren't sharp. So instead of just painting over the whole thing, I tried to dry brush over the lettering just to kind of lighten it up and blend it in the best I could. And I ended up leaving it this way. This is how it turned out. I don't hate it, but like I said, you live and you learn. And that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me make over these items. Like I said earlier, be sure to check out the playlist down below, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!